The next speaker is Kin-Wai. She's a PhD fellow of the Research Foundation of Flanders at KU Leuven, Belgium. Her research interests stretched across cultural, comics, sociolinguistics, and media studies. Currently, her PhD project centers on post-colonial Hong Kong comics. So, please.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
So you can share your screen if you want. Yes.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. First, thanks for organizing this conference and in accepting my paper for presentation. And hi, everyone. Today, my presentation topic is a transmedial journey from the sound of music to the sound of music. My paper is a case study of a parodic comic adaptation of the movie singing scenes in The Sound of Music movie released in 1965. The Sound of Music comic series is created by a Hong Kong comic artist called Xiu Hak. Paul actually introduced him briefly this morning. This series was first published between 2015 and 2016 on a weekly infotainment magazine called East Touch. And the series was collected and published as a book. As you can see the book cover here, it contains 11 chapters parodying the 11 singing scenes of the movie. The comic story involves the anthropomorphized pandas playing the roles of the original movie characters. The Chinese word san means mountain or hill, and its Cantonese pronunciation is san, which is a phonetic approximation of sound in English, but it also implies the Austrian Alps where some key scenes of the movie were filmed. The slide here shows the visual parallel of the DVD cover and the comic book cover. I will divide my presentation into 3 parts, namely transmedia adaptation, linguistic adaptation, and cultural adaptation to delineate the transmedial journey from the sound of music to the sound of music. Well, comic scholar Daniel Stein proposes that intermedial theory works particularly well with adaptations, which are premised in the transposition of material from one medium to another. The sound of music is a part of an extensive constellation of adaptations, as you can see here. The Sound of Music, the movie, was itself adapted from an eponymous musical adaptation staged in Broadway and the West End in 1959 and 61 respectively. And you can see the posters here. They were in turn adapted from the memoir, The Story of the 12 Family Singers, published in 1949, written by Maria Augusta von Traub, and 2 German music adaptations of the book, The 12 Family and The 12 Family in America, shown in 1956 and 8 respectively. But this presentation only focuses on the Hollywood movie production as the source text of the comic adaptation. On the other hand, The Sound of Music became the primary source of fan adaptations after it was published. Some fans made the comics into animation that are dubbed with their own singing voice. So it's the cover of the song sung in the rewritten lyrics. Adapting the singing scenes of The Sound of Music movie to comics poses a fundamental challenge because the audio elements which the movie is reputed for can only be represented textually and iconographically. To recall readers' memories of the songs, Xiu Hak made use of the visual and textual parodies and intermedial references from the original movie. As you can see, the visual parallel of the screen capture of the movie and the comic page. This is 2 of the comic pages of the song. And throughout the whole book, for the 11 chapters, you can also see similar structure in which the film stills are captured as the panel background of the comic panel. And you can see also the movie characters are all replaced by the panda character. The page layout contains regular panels aligned neatly to spatially imitate a temporal flow of the story on a video screen. The panel layout also has a black border at the bottom for displaying one lyric line at a time. This intermediately refers to subtitles in MTV and karaoke media. Similar to the process of closure, the process of musicalization is at work. Musicalization is a term proposed by Werner Wolf, describing the fact that the audio aspects of the sound of music are reconstructed when the readers are reading the comics. Now I will show you a bit of the fan adaptation. But it seems that it's not loading. Well, because of the limited time we have, maybe if you search, you can see the YouTube video. The YouTube video that I'm sharing was posted by 2 professional musical singers, and they sang the
Can you send it on the chat?
fan adaptation. Very few changes are made because, well, according to Linda Hutton, within fan culture, the issue of can you hear me? By the way, excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical problem. The YouTube video do not have a lot of changes. The most important change is that the people who made the video uploaded their own or dubbed their own singing voice, singing the rewritten lyrics. And this kind of fan adaptation, according to Linda Hutton, is not a surprise because the fans care about the issue of loyalty and fidelity more than creators who aimed at doing some parodic works or at some kind of creative addition to the new adaptation. Well, then next, sorry for the interruption. Then next, I would like to talk about linguistic adaptation. I use the term linguistic adaptation, but not translation, because the lyrics are not literally translated. Instead, the lyrics are broadly translated by Xiuhak into vernacular Cantonese, but extensive stylistic and cultural adaptations at work here, so I use the term linguistic adaptation. Cantonese is the first spoken language of the majority of people in Hong Kong, but its written form has not been accepted. The formal written form, or the formal written Chinese, is written Mandarin. So Cantonese speakers do not write what they speak. According to, apart from using written Cantonese as a cultural marker, Xiuhak also uses uncouth word choices in the new lyrics to challenge the constant debate, the sociolinguistic debate about linguistic legitimacy and decency of dialect, because Cantonese is always considered as a dialect. Another big challenge in adapting the lyrics lies in the differences between English and Cantonese. English is a non-tonal polysyllabic language, while Cantonese is a tonal and monosyllabic language. In other words, the Cantonese lyrics have to match not only the tone of the melody, not only the melody, but also the tone of the pitch, or the pitch of the melody, as every Chinese word, regardless of Mandarin or Cantonese, is pronounced with the exact tone, while changing the tone means changing the word. Therefore, each note of the lyric line originally sung in English has to be filled with one Chinese word, which is already a semantic unit that is drastically different from the polysyllabic English lyrics, in which multiple notes may be sung as a single English word, which has multiple, which is multisyllabic. In principle, the length of a Chinese lyric line would be shorter than that of an English lyric line if the line contains a lot of multisyllable English words. Based on the linguistic restrictions, the adapted Cantonese lyrics are sometimes inevitably changed, even though Xiu Hek overtly stated that he tried to translate the lyrics as faithfully as he can as a fan, paying tribute to the movie. An example here is the song Do Re Mi. Do Re Mi are Western musical terms, and the original lyrics are about basic music concepts. The title is translated as Do Re Mi in Cantonese. You can see the Chinese word at the top left-hand corner of the illustration. Do Lei means rules and common knowledge in Chinese, and Mi here, the third Chinese character, doesn't mean anything, but it is the homophone of Do Re Mi's Mi. So the title established a phonetic link to the original song title using the third word Mi. As a result, the Cantonese lyrics of the song are shifted from talking about musical rules to Chinese cultural principles. If we look at the bottom left of the bottom two panels, instead of translating the lyric line, when you sing, you begin with Do Re Mi, the Cantonese lyrics become reading Tong Sing. I literally translate it as reading Tong Sing. You will discover Do Re Mi. Tong Sing here is a Chinese almanac, including feng shui, astrological knowledge in form of a calendar. It's published every year, and each day of the year is listed with a list of things that people can do and or cannot do. For example, today may be a good day for marriage or moving or traveling and so on. So some Chinese people would like to refer to this almanac in order to know what they should or should not do on the day. One of the most famous Tongsing was, as you can see here, the book here is a very classic cover of Tongsing. One of the most famous Tongsing was published by feng shui master Choi Bak-lai, who was born in 1922. Born as the third generation of a prominent Chinese almanac and feng shui expert family in China, the Choi family has been publishing Tongsing for more than 120 years. In 1952, the Choi family moved to Hong Kong and continued to publish Tongsing because the book was banned in the newly established People's Republic of China at the time. According to a journalist, Kok, article about the life of Choi, Tongsing used in this case is an example of cultural adaptation. And the third, and it relates to the third adaptation that I would like to talk about. The last part is cultural adaptation. This is done by adding localized elements to transform the story set in pre-war Europe to a story set in contemporary Hong Kong. The slide shows an obvious example in the adaptation of the original lyric from The Lonely Goatherd. Here, only one panel is shown, and you can see two ghoulies wearing the costumes seen in the original movie, but they are carrying a fridge and a washing machine, which are anachronistic to the original pre-war narrative setting. But this panel also excellently gives a modern twist to the adaptation. Many lyric lines in the song end with an onomatopoeia of the goats, either singing "liel, liel odo liel odo," like he who. Sorry for the ugly singing. And Xiu Hak did not transliterate this chorus, but he wrote each chorus line in a completely new message in Cantonese. In this example, the original lyrics is "Man on the road with a load to tow herd." It's adapted into 成班咕喱銅鑼灣都聽到想唔做就唔做嚕。It means even all the coolies in Causeway Bay heard that if you don't want to work, then don't work. In the first part of the lyric line, men on the road becomes coolies in the Cantonese lyrics, and extra narrative thread is added. Causeway Bay is a shopping district in Hong Kong. The rest of the lyrics also mentioned other places in Hong Kong to recontextualize the lyrics to a Hong Kong setting. The last word of the lyric line, 想唔做就唔做嚕, Lu, doesn't mean anything. It's a transliteration of a Cantonese final particle, which Cantonese speakers usually add at the end of a sentence to signal the speech act. Here Lu symbolizes a very carefree tone of the speaker. So after talking about these kind of adaptations, in conclusion, I'd like to propose that this comic adaptation has demonstrated the transmedia journey of the movie, The Sound of Music. The loose translation with the uncouth style and cultural adaptations in The Sound of Music have challenged the notion of cultural legitimacy and decency of Cantonese used in a middlebrow musical film. And that's all of my presentation. Thank you very much.